We mentioned in our last episode about fake AI Drake dissing Kendrick Lamar, but now Tupac and Snoop has been dragged in. Let's discuss. Welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Miles Davis, and my co-host Chris Branch. This is the daily 10-minute podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, marketer wants to hear. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, so we can only focus on one subject. And today, we're going to be continuing our conversation about what's happened with Drake and the Kendrick Lamar and the Joe Cole kind of rap battle that's going on. Because this weekend, Drake has released a track that has Tupac and Snoop. Now, obviously, the Tupac one is AI, but the Snoop one, you've heard about using people who are dead and taking their AI, using AI to bring their lyrics back to life, but to do it on someone who's already alive, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. But first, I just want to quickly say, sorry about the quality of my mic. My actual microphone got stolen, so at the moment, and I'm traveling, it's just using my MacBook mic. So I'm sorry about the quality. So anyway, Chris, what do you think? What's your initial thoughts on what's happened with Drake and Tupac and Snoop, etc.?
I'm in shock, mate. I'm really in shock that Drake has gone full circle on this. I can't believe actually that he's sued a fan for copying him, and then he used AI against what his label would have ever allowed, and then brought back the most famous dead rapper of all time, other than Biggie, probably, and then he's gone with an alive rapper who's also from, different crew to Kendrick. So it's almost as though he's gone, what would your virtual A-team look like if you had no beef between rappers? And then he's gone, yeah, sweet, let's swing it in an AI track.
Yeah. I think because there's two things really. There's the Tupac side of things and the conversation around using dead people's or singers, again, not just rappers, but anyone, artists, vocals, and who owns the rights to that, etc. And then the second is using someone that's alive. So let's just quickly address the Snoop situation. Now, if you haven't heard the track, we're not going to play it now because we'll get hit for copyright. We'll get a copyright strike. But there's a track that's going on that starts off with Tupac. It's got a decent beat. Starts off with Tupac rapping. Then it's got Snoop rapping. And then it's got Drake rapping. And then Drake just talks at the end. And it's all like dissing. Well, the Tupac one was kind of like a homage to... It was quite clever the way they'd done it. Like, it was almost saying, hey, Drake, don't say this about Kendrick, etc. But with Snoop, what happened is people started contacting Snoop saying, did you diss Kendrick? And that's surprising because Kendrick is part of like the Dr. Dre camp where Snoop came from. And they're both from LA. So they're both kind of West Coast, like buddies, teammates stick together. So that's why I was like, did Snoop really diss it or was it AI? And then Snoop on Instagram, if you just go to Instagram, you could check it out. Snoop is just like, he doesn't deny it, but it doesn't say he did it. He was just like, I just woke up. Snoop's like, eyes slit. I just woke up and people like contacted me about this. And like, he doesn't really say anything. So maybe after we hear this and, I'll drop this episode, it will come out if he did it or not. But regardless, what's your thoughts on that situation? Imagine Snoop didn't do it. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's going to happen a lot more in the near future. I can imagine just musicians waking up to tracks of sound like them, look like them, going viral, and they have no idea that what's happened. I didn't write it. I didn't know it was happening.
But they must have something.
It's going to happen a lot.
Yeah, but like, imagine Snoop didn't do it. Like, Snoop must be on the phone to Drake's people saying, "Look, take that down, or we're going to sue you because you don't have because you can't say."
Major lawsuit.
It sounds exactly like Snoop, and I think he even mentions his name. And I know the track is titled featuring Tupac and Snoop. Do you know what I mean? So Snoop must have something to do with this, which is quite surprising. If not, like, he would have to sue, or at least tell him to take it.
Well, maybe it is. maybe it is a stunt by a big artist in order to prove the issues that are going to happen very shortly. You know, like it is quite clever to bring it to such attention.
Mm,
You couldn't imagine a bigger platform than Drake, honestly, because he's just so good at social media. So he's got like incredible like engagement on Instagram. So when he put it up there, it's already got over 1 million likes in less
mm,
than like 48 hours.
mm,
So then you're like, okay, this is bringing mass awareness to a big issue in the music industry that's about to happen. And maybe it'll become like a landmark case. But the fact that he's throwing himself under the lawsuit like that in order to
mm.
get the word out there, it's
That's
only Drake
assuming.
can think of that
That's
PR
assuming he's
tactic.
doing it to get the word out there. I think again, it's a good point that you mentioned that if it was for that, definitely get people to listen and pay attention to it. But I don't think he'll do it because he's in the middle of a rap battle. You know, he doesn't want to lose the rap battle more than anything, rather than the people's attention to AI, especially when he's gone up against someone that's very well. A lot of people argue is technically a better rapper than him in Kendrick, and
Mm.
people will also say that Drake lost his last battle when he was going up against the rapper Pusha T. So you know,
Mm.
it's and a lot of people going at Drake. Like Kanye West just released a diss track to Drake. Rick Ross released a diss track. So it's almost Drake against everyone at the moment. So he might have to bring in his AI Avengers superpowers. Next thing you know, you got Easy E, you got Big Pun, you got Big L, you got Notorious B.I.G., you got Pop Smoke, you got all of the rappers that are not here, um, as
You
well.
got the infinity gauntlet of dead rappers,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. But then there's the other angle, which is the Tupac angle. Now, obviously using Tupac, he must have spoken to Tupac's estate to use that because they definitely would.
No.
Don't you think he spoke to them?
He wouldn't have done. No,
Right.
definitely not. Like this has come out of the blue. Like in order to plan something like that, I know because we just collaborated with the Frida Kahlo estate, and it took 6 months to agree anything.
Wow. Mm.
So, like any estate of any major artist, in the creative sphere is going to take a long time to negotiate. And Drake did this in the middle of the heat of a rap battle,
Yeah, he
so
done it
I'm
very quick.
almost guaranteed that he Tupac's estate had no idea this was
Wow.
coming either.
That's gutsy because Snoop suing him is one thing, but Tupac's estate, you know, they're going to be very sensitive on what can and can't be used,
They're
especially
gonna go for him, yeah.
like the biggest thing that's happening in hip hop right now. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Especially because like he is such a valuable asset that we've seen him already at like major festivals in hologram form, right?
Mm,
Like
mm.
someone would have paid a massive license fee to get a hologram Tupac at a major festival and done it directly to the estate, so that they're now probably going to say that was the value, like as in you copied something that we rent out for millions of dollars, and you're now liable for those charges.
You
So
know, the
if it
yeah.
was like Tupac hadn't been, regurgitated before in a mainstream way by a mainstream festival, I think there'd be less issue, honestly.
The company that actually put together those holograms, they went bankrupt because the cost of doing it. So, but the cost
Well,
that was,
I'm not
yeah,
surprised.
but that was then. I remember it was a bit at Coachella many years ago. So, but I think the cost of it now will
Yep,
be a lot less. And special, and it's like when you start adding in AI, you can have proper conversations with him on
probably.
stage. There's a different matter. But I can just also see this opening up Pandora's box because we
Yeah.
mentioned this before where it's like people's gonna be using or licensing other things. Like if this was about 3 weeks
Mm.
ago, I'll be saying I'm sure right now P Diddy will be using Biggie's lyrics, and but let's not talk about P Diddy or Puff Daddy or Brother Love at the moment. I'm sure he's got other things to worry about. So it's I can see more and more people doing this, but not just for songs. Now it might be just to feature on someone's track that they can do it, and then they'll
Mm.
get some clever person or maybe even Chat GPT to write the lyrics. What would you go in there, you type in a prompt related to that particular person, similar to this particular lyrics that looks like this over a beat BPM of this, and then you next thing you know you've got that, and I just see more and more, and you can do it at scale. So I can see this happening a lot more.
Mm.
Who would you like to see?
Me too. And it's almost who would I like to see in terms of AI?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, well, I think there's already going to be a big divide over the ones that will embrace it and the ones that won't.
Mm,
And I'm pretty sure that a lot of the people that I follow will be embracing it because they're already, electronic producers and they're using digital workstations, and this will be just another useful tool in their arsenal of stuff. I
Mm.
can see the more traditional, bands and like guitarists and stuff going very against this,
Yeah.
but I'm not a big, advocate of like general bands. I'm much more of an electronic like
Okay.
listener.
Yeah, yeah. So
So yeah, I'm imagining our scene will embrace it, but others in the music industry definitely won't.
yeah. Okay. So in a nutshell, when it comes to what's happened recently, it looks like Drake, who was being accused of in his first diss track to be AI, he literally turned around and said, "All right, if you think I'm using AI, let's use AI," and that's why he brought in Tupac and
Mm.
maybe AI Snoop. So this could be the future of what looks like the way the music industry and using AI for vocals may go.